All right, so I don't know who needs to hear this, but I just had an amazing encounter at the gym. I was sitting there on the machine and there was a gentleman who came up and sat on the machine next to me. As I was working out, I just felt the Holy Spirit tugging me to tell him that the Lord loves him. So I just said, "Hey man, what's your name?" He told me he goes by Q, and I told him, "I just wanted to let you know the Lord loves you." When I said this, he smiled really big and he looked at me and he said, "You believe in all that stuff, man?" I said, "Yes, sir, absolutely." He goes, okay. Anyways, I go to do my last set, and whenever I get done, he's sitting there and he's kind of looking at me, and I can tell he wants to say something. So I'm like, "What's going on?" He said, "Well, man, what persuaded you to say that?" I said, "The Holy Spirit." And he kind of laughed and he looked down, and I could tell he was internally wrestling. And I just looked at him and I said, "Man, you owe it to yourself. Go into this and try and debunk it." The problem with most people is they go to ask the question of faith, of God, and they don't even ask the question before they answer the question. I said, go into it unbiased and try to debunk it. At the end of the day, we know all of this is temporary. Whether you believe in heaven and God or you believe in nothing, we know that this life is temporary. So you owe it to yourself to know what's the truth of what comes after. And he said, "You're absolutely right." Then he goes on, he said, "Man, I was a firefighter for 7 years. And during that time, I lost my faith." I said, "You probably saw a lot of pain and evil, huh?" He was like, "Yeah, and it just was really hard." I said, "That's one of the biggest obstacles for a lot of modern day scholars, theologians, atheists, is the problem of pain and suffering." If you want to know my answer on that, it's a couple videos back. But I recapped it with him and I told him, "Look, man, I totally get it. You can follow me on Facebook. I will give you any reading material you may want, including the Bible." He respectfully declined, but he did look very perplexed. And he said, "This is really weird. You're the third person to come up to me and say this." Guys, I'm not saying he's gonna go and convert tomorrow, but that seed is planted. The whole point in saying this is don't be afraid. When the Holy Spirit says something, do it out of faith. I know it can be intimidating, but trust me, follow the Holy Spirit. I was the third person this week. Tell me God's not trying to reach this dude. "I came to you in weakness with great fear and trembling." Paul himself was afraid to go to strangers and to express his faith. But we are talking about people's eternity. Stay in the Word, stay in prayer, and always